It is I, the Poptimist. The apocalypse was a fairy tale. The truth is, we deserve worse. Far worse than the Yellowstone volcano erupting or a meteor wiping out civilization in one glorious wave of cosmic justice. Instead, things just went from bad to worse. And like always, nothing really changed. It's been 1 year since the outbreak began. 1 year since the world has lost its footing. And now, as the lights dim and the air begins to grow colder, we continue to broadcast because it's the only thing left we know how to do. When the first videos leaked, we saw rising corpses tearing through quiet neighborhoods. Middle-aged moms getting their heads turned into parfaits while grocery shopping. Kids being ripped from limb to limb. And some people felt relief in all of this. Like maybe, finally, it was the end of rent payments, of soul-crushing jobs held together by health insurance, of PTA meetings and HOA complaints. The quiet, comfortable suffocation of routine. They thought it might all go away, but it didn't. The official narrative calls them the reanimated, not corpses, not undead, not infected, just reanimated. The Reanimated Rights Act has now been signed into law with overwhelming bipartisan support, once protecting what was human, granting liberties to something that no longer dreams, no longer breathes, but still walks. You are no longer allowed to defend yourself. You are no longer allowed to speak freely about the threat. Let me be clear. They are what happens when institutions rot, when fear wins, when power rewrites the language to control the living. Since the outbreak, we've been fed a steady diet of platitudes, just enough to keep us calm, distracted, and obedient. But the truth is no one is coming to save us. We are alone. Reports are now surfacing that troops are moving. Interstates are being locked down, and entire cities are going dark. The word being whispered is containment, but those of us still broadcasting, we know what it really means. So stay tuned, stay sharp, and stay awake. Tonight's chaos is proudly brought to you by the Velvet Altar, Nashville's only gentlemen's club brave enough to keep the party going after the lights went out. Some of the girls still breathe, some of them don't, but all of them are dead sexy and dying to please. Doesn't matter if you're a bachelor, a corpse, or just clinging to whatever's left of Saturday night. The Velvet Altar has a seat, a stage, and a lap with your name carved into it. The living may lie, but the dead don't fake it. The Velvet Altar, where your money's still good even when the world isn't. And here is Rebecca Romero Smith over at the White House giving a press conference on the Reanimated Rights Act.
Good afternoon. I want to thank you all for being here today during these unprecedented times. Today, I'm proud to announce the passage of the Reanimated Rights Act, a landmark piece of bipartisan legislation that officially recognizes the reanimated as citizens with full legal protections. This is a historic moment for inclusion, equality, and equity for all American citizens, both living and reanimated. Now, let's be clear. The United States is not under attack. These are not zombies. That term is outdated and offensive. The term is reanimated Americans.
Madam Secretary,
Nick.
Reports say that harming or even defending yourself against a reanimated individual is now considered a federal hate crime. What's the official White House position on that?
That's correct. Under the RRA, acts of violence against reanimated Americans are classified as hate crimes. We believe that no American, living or post-living, should be treated as less than. The administration's guidance is clear. Do not engage, do not provoke, do not discriminate. If a reanimated individual enters your residence, the safest course of action is to vacate the premises and call your local reanimation compliance liaison. Attempting to defend yourself could escalate the situation and may constitute a hate-based offense, which could lead to jail time. Remember, that reanimated individual likely paid taxes, was your neighbor, or your child's soccer coach. In fact, California has already led the way. Under the Right to Rot statute, breaking into a home is no longer considered trespassing if the reanimated individual demonstrates signs of low aggression and domestic curiosity.
Madam Secretary, over here!
Sam.
James Finkelstein, the so-called reintegration philanthropist, was found dead for a second time this week off the Isle del Silencio. Flight records and leaked emails suggest he ran a corpse trafficking ring, flying reanimated individuals to a private island for the use of elites. Multiple sources claim he kept a harem of reanimated children before the outbreak. Is the White House aware of any federal investigation? And can you confirm whether President Newman had a personal relationship with Finkelstein during his time as a business consultant in New York?
The president, like many prominent business leaders in the 1990s, attended charitable events, galas, and industry forums alongside a wide range of individuals. Suggesting that a decades-old photograph implies a criminal relationship is not only irresponsible, it's defamatory. Next question.
Madam Secretary, over here. Madam Secretary, multiple sources inside the administration have leaked documents labeled Final Reset Tier 1 zones. The documents outlined coordinated nuclear strikes on U.S. cities, allegedly scheduled to coincide with Reanimation Week public celebrations. Can the White House confirm or deny that the president is planning to nuke American cities to contain the spread of the infection?
I'm going to stop you right there. The very premise of your question is deeply offensive. This administration has worked tirelessly to integrate the reanimated back into society, not to exterminate them. To suggest that we would resort to something as barbaric as nuclear strikes is not only misinformation, it's a grotesque distortion of our values. What you're referring to are hypothetical documents, taken wildly out of context. We have always maintained that containment strategies must be flexible, adaptive, and humane. But let me be absolutely clear. We do not solve social challenges with bombs. We solve them with compassion, reintegration, and policy. Failure is a mindset, and this administration does not subscribe to defeatist thinking. We are not ending cities, we are transforming them. Reanimated Americans are not the threat. Bigotry is.
On the phone, we have Owen Jones, the author of First Blood, Last Election, How I Put Sylvester Stallone in the White House. Former political strategist to President Stallone. Once widely dismissed as a conspiracy theorist, now drawing more listeners than ever on his show, Revolution, America's Soul. Owen, how are you today?
I gotta tell you, it's a great day to be an American. Not because things are good, mind you, but because the mask has finally slipped. Great days are days of clarity, and today was clarifying.
Most people wouldn't use the word great for a day like today. Walk us through your reaction to what we just saw from the White House.
What you saw wasn't governance. It was stagecraft. I know because I've been the man behind the curtain, okay? I've seen this game played, and I've beat it. When I helped run Sly's campaign, the hardest part was convincing Americans that the chaos around him could be an underdog victory in the end, that we could rise up together like Rocky. You give them inevitability, they'll forgive almost anything. That's what you witnessed today, not a press conference, a performance. Get it clear.
You're suggesting they're lying outright?
Lying is too crude a word. They're managing perception. Words like integration, stimulus, temporary security measures, those aren't neutral. Those are coded. They're engineered to quiet resistance, all right? Follow me here, bucko. You wrap something catastrophic in the language of compassion, and people will literally clap while you tighten the noose.
You're referring to the Reanimated Rights Act.
Exactly. Don't be fooled. This isn't about civil rights, people. It's about building a new class of citizen. Once you grant rights, you can impose duties. Once you impose duties, you can conscript, relocate, experiment, anything you want. Today, they gave the dead a seat at the table, people. Tomorrow, they'll send them to your doorstep as enforcers. It's simultaneously bureaucratic genius and moral poison.
And what about the nuclear denial that we just heard?
That's the tell. When an administration issues a categorical denial, that means the paperwork is already calculating. It's already circulating. We are not planning to is the softest guarantee in politics. It's the phrase you use when the option is live, but you can't afford the panic. Anyone who's been inside those meetings knows it. I've drafted those statements myself.
You really believe that they drop a bomb on their own people?
Belief? I don't deal in belief. I deal in precedent. Look at history. Governments manufacture emergencies. They reframe disasters as opportunities. Vietnam, JFK, the list goes on and on and on. This isn't speculation. It's the oldest playbook in the world, people. Collapse creates obedience. Obedience consolidates power. Whether it's Stallone's America or today's America, the script doesn't change, only the actors. Let me ask you, why am I drawing more listeners now than I ever did at the height of my so-called conspiracy theories? Because people recognize patterns. They feel it in their bones. They know the ground is shifting. Call it instinct, call it survival, call it whatever you want. Whatever it is, they know the official story doesn't coalesce with what they're seeing right in front of them. It's that simple, Jack.
Oh, and are you saying that the country's already lost?
I'm saying the country is being redesigned. And most of you won't realize it until you're living under the new architecture. The rights of the dead, the denials of the living, the careful language, all of it is scaffolding. By the time the structure is finished, you'll look up and swear, it's always been there. That's the brilliance of the thing. They don't just want to rewrite the future, they have to retrofit the past. And they're doing it. I'll leave you with this. Power never wastes a crisis. And what you just watched wasn't a crisis. It was an opportunity being weaponized in real time. Remember that.
Well, if you were still alive with us here today, we know what President Stallone would say.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Here's Surf Dracula by Canada Duckfeet. Next, I'd like to bring on Ricky Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy is the owner and operator of a gentleman's club called the Velvet Altar, one of my favorite sponsors here on the Poptimist. The establishment has found some creative ways to adapt to our new reality. Ricky, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great here. Mr. Poptimist. I just wanted to say that I'm happy to be out, happy to be breathing, I'm happy to be alive. You know, it's great to be here. I love to surround myself with beautiful women.
They are beautiful indeed.
There's some of them are breathing, some of them are not. But it's just great to be here. All these women that you see down at my club, they're as sweet as a juicy Georgia peach. But some of them stink like the swamp. You understand what I'm saying?
One thing I want to recognize you for is being an esteemed business owner here in Nashville. You've really taken some entrepreneurial chances. Can you chat a little bit about turning this tragedy into victory?
Well, I can understand that the world is changing, and sometimes you just need to change with it. And I'm going to tell you this. The same thing that my dear father told my mother right before he cut off her head with a meat cleaver. Sometimes you just got to improvise. And that's exactly what we're doing here at the Velvet Altar. We are rolling with the punches of the way that society is going today.
The Velvet Altar has been making a lot of headlines lately for the fact that you guys are having undead dancers. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We are always doing our best to bring you the best looking ladies, the best blondes, brunettes, black, English, French, you name it, every shape, every size, everything that is changing in the world. I've just seen the opportunity.
There have been some rumors lately of undead sex shows. There's been a lot on Reddit, people posting, on Twitter.
Let me just stop you right there. These allegations are unequivocally false. Those rumors are 100% negative, and they are just non-reflective of the business that we're doing at the Velvet Altar. We will never, nor will ever, define ourselves with those kind of allegations.
Now, some have raised safety concerns. There's talk about a dancer getting loose and causing trouble. What actually happened?
When is common sense no longer common? If you stick your appendage or something else in an open mouth of a stripper, it's gonna bite it down. That's what I'm saying. Look, we have new safety measures right here just to prevent that sort of stuff.
The mask?
Absolutely. They're teething. They're like new toddlers, biting on every goddamn thing. Yang.
I appreciate the clarification.
Absolutely.
Ricky, thank you for your time.
Thank you, and I appreciate this so much. And here. Let's get a little something for yourself. All right.
The Poptimist is fueled by Stag Rot, America's most dangerous beer. Brewed in the ribcage of a dead elk and aged in barrels that nobody remembers burying. You don't sip Stag Rot, you survive it. It tastes like winning a custody battle that you shouldn't have won. Crack one open, taste the rot. Stag Rot. Brewed in bone, aged in silence, drank in hell. Drink responsibly. Memento mori. Remember death. Death isn't poetic. It's not a violin swell and white light and your grandma waiting with cookies on the other side. Death is choking on a chicken bone in your car, seatbelt locked, people outside honking, screaming obscenities at you. Death is a frozen smile in an old Facebook profile picture that no one has the password to delete. It's the black mold creeping on your drywall, the unreturned voicemails, and the unpaid water bill. It's a voicemail box full permanently. The truth? Every obituary is an advertising copy. loving father, devoted wife, beloved son. Nobody writes, she drank herself stupid on Tuesdays and had an OnlyFans, or he kicked the dog when nobody was looking. Death is the only honest moment we get. No edits, no filters. Just the body stopping, mid-sentence, like somebody pulled the plug on the blender. And now the world we live in, even that's not enough. Death used to be the finish line. Now it's the waiting room. Your neighbor, your mother, your child, they don't leave. They shuffle back into the picture, blank-eyed, still wearing the clothes that they died in. So let's take a moment, not to honor the dead, not to sanctify them, to remember what we lose every single time we pretend that this is normal. Here's Full Tilt Boogie by Canada Duckfeet.
My fellow Americans, tonight I come to you not with fear, but with clarity. Clarity born from a year of hardship, heartache, and loss on a global scale. We have endured what no generation before us has faced, a viral reanimation event that has challenged every assumption we once held about life, death, and the human condition. We have funded research, we have offered compassion, and we have waited. But the truth is, there is no cure. The reanimated are not sick. They are not recovering. They are not coming back. They are, in every measurable sense, lost. Which is why, starting at dawn, I have authorized Operation Reset, a final comprehensive containment initiative targeting the most heavily overrun zones across the United States. This was not an easy decision, but it is a necessary one. We are targeting infection. We are not attacking cities. We are defending what remains of civilization. In partnership with defense, public health, and emergency management agencies, we will deploy tactical nuclear strikes in select containment zones to begin rebuilding. These strikes are precise, humane, and guided by the singular goal of long-term survival. This is how we reclaim our future in our great country, not with panic, but with resolve, not with denial, but with action. The American story does not end with the RS1 virus. It begins again with the living choosing to carry on.
Well, there you have it, folks. The President of the United States just went on television and sold nuclear winter like it was a goddamn extended warranty. Operation Reset. Sounds neat, doesn't it? Press a button, wipe the slate, and start again, like you're just rebooting a router. The truth? We were already dead long before the dead started walking. We were shopping for throw pillows, paying car notes, filing insurance claims. All of us sleepwalking through the fluorescent hell while the ground underneath us cracked. And when the corpses stood up, we called it a crisis. But it wasn't a crisis. It was just a mirror. They say history loves a spectacle, but history is lazy. What it loves is convenience. The same men who invented the euphemism will invent the solution. Operation Reset, a phrase that makes ashtray violence sound like urban planning. You can be brave all you want when bravery is just a hashtag. Real courage is an awkward and filthy thing. Like getting up in the morning, even when your hands shake with fear, facing the world as it is, and still making coffee anyway. It's keeping your neighbor's kid from becoming a headline because you remembered how to say the word no when everyone else said yes. So what do? You keep your eyes open. You keep your hands ungloved and you make noise. You trade the lies for stories and keep the stories honest. 8 legs to the wall, hit the gas, kill 'em all. You don't wait for a savior with a flag and a can to dress. You build your own small resistances. A flashlight in a blackout. A door bolted with a shotgun grinning behind it. And a song hummed under your breath that the dead can't steal. Keep on dreaming. Don't forget to give 'em hell.